I'm Luan Aiken with Tagawa Gardens here in Centennial, Colorado, and we are here today with a lady who knows so much about so many things. This is Chris, our annuals co-director, and she is here to talk to us specifically about a couple of holiday projects we can take on, some lovely paper whites and some amaryllis. Let's start with the paper whites. What should we do?
Paper whites are very easy for indoor forcing. They don't need any chill time. They're a tropical bulb. It will take them about 6 weeks to go from bulb to bloom. And then they bloom for about 4 weeks. The cooler your home, the longer the bloom will last. You can plant them in either rock,
and this, let me just, before you go on, that really is kind of a little rock. It's
like a pumice stone.
Right,
yeah.
A little round pebble,
yeah.
So those are very cool.
Or
and you have those in rocks as well.
Yes, or you can do them in rocks. This basket is a line, and you can put, if you want to, you could put moss on top of there if you wanted to. And I just showed it in a basket to just give you another idea. It looks sort of Thanksgiving. Right. So you could back up your time as to when you would plant them. If you wanted them ready by Christmas, you know, you go back 6 weeks and then they're ready. Very easy. They're not going to bloom again, so they're disposable. You can keep them going all winter long. Some are fragrant, some are not. The zivas are fragrant, the in-balls are not.
And I've heard a little rumor about vodka. What is that?
That is not a rumor, it's a true.
Really?
There was some research done at Cornell. 4% vodka to water solution will keep them short and stocky, just like your mom told you, if you drink too much, it'll stunt your growth. So, you know, if you want to keep your plants shorter, you can add a little vodka or gin. It needs to be a white or clear alcohol.
Who knew?
Yes.
Who knew? Okay, something you recommend here for a lot of plants I know is age-old kelp. What's that?
Age-old kelp is what it says, it's a kelp, and it helps plants to root and get going. So I use it when I'm starting my amaryllis, especially because they come with this big bunch of roots on them.
Right.
I like to soak them overnight before I plant them and hydrate those roots in a little kelp. 2 ounces of kelp to 1 gallon of water.
So pretty diluted kelp.
Pretty diluted.
Okay.
And you're just going to have enough in the bottom to soak those roots to get started. Then they'll take off a little faster. The smaller bulb will take about 6 to 8 weeks to bloom. The larger bulb will take about 8 to 10 weeks to bloom. The benefit would be the larger the bulb, the larger the flower. So if you want a larger flower, make sure you get them going soon enough so they're not blooming for you on St. Patrick's Day.
Now this amaryllis you have growing in soil. Why is that?
I want the bulb to bloom again year after year. So I will often, when it's an important, very nice, big bulb like that, that's probably going to have 5 flower stalks on it. I'm going to plant this one in soil. So I put a little soil in. And now I'm going to be putting this one into this pot, which has no drainage. Right. So I have to have drainage. And then I fill the rest of they like a snug fit. They don't want a lot of room around that bulb.
You've got about 1 inch between the edge of the bulb and the edge of the pot.
Exactly. And you don't want to put too much room in there because that kind of slows them down. So you're going to leave about 1/3 of that bulb above the soil line. You see how I have that?
Right.
Then you would water this in. You would not water it again until you have leaves or flowers coming out of that bulb.
A couple of inches of growth, and that's when you water it again. And in the meantime, are you keeping it in bright light, or does it matter?
Just indirect bright light. It doesn't need to be in full-on light. And then it will start blooming, like I said, in that 6 to 8 week time period. You don't want to put it in too warm of a room, or else it will, the blooms will fade quickly.
And we can combine these and make a beautiful gift basket with a little of this, a little of that.
Yes, you don't have to limit it to just the bulb alone. And you can add them, you can add some ivies or some ferns along with them, and then you can just trade them out as they're finished. It's an easy process. You can add moss to the top of your pots if you want to make it a little bit more decorative. Or you can find decorative pots. This one has no drainage, this amaryllis pot. And
with
so
the little
I put,
elk there.
Yeah, with that little elk, and I just put a little rock underneath of that one.
What about ongoing care? Indirect light, what about fertilizer? What about the heat in the house? Can that be a problem?
If it's too warm again, it will force the bloom to fade quickly. They will be then, after they're done blooming, you cut the flower stalk off, but you leave the leaves, and they will continue to live in your house as a house plant. Then in June and July, you are going to take those plants and ignore them. And what I know, you stop watering, you take them, you put them in a dark closet, and you forget about them. All the leaves will fall off, You clean all that off. You can repot them at that time if you need to, and they will bloom again for you next Christmas.
So at the end of the season, as the leaves are kind of fading off, it'll look a lot like this. You leave it in the pot when you store it?
Yes, I do. You don't have to take it out of the pot while you're doing this process.
So it's a lazy gardener's approach to getting your Amaryllis to rebloom.
Exactly.
And then bring it back out a few weeks before the holidays?
And start the process all over again. And this one's giving you a pup. That's what they
pup,
call
a little sport.
The little new Amaryllis coming off, propagating off the side there.
There are so many choices. There are so many great ideas that you can talk to Chris about, her very experienced staff, whether it's paper whites, Amaryllis, any other gift ideas for your holiday season. Come see us at Tagawa's. Chris and the whole staff will be happy to help you be green and grow.